Is Sunday, week 12 in the NFL, and EDUBBS is really, really trying my patience today by wearing that New York Jets shirt. Because the other day, I couldn't believe what I was watching.
Yeah, it was great, Rich. I think I'm off delay now. I think the microphone, that was the issue and stuff like that. So I just took the mic out. You hear me, right? You hear me?
Oh, I could hear you. Yeah, I could hear you fine. It's just that, you look like you're a little off with your video, though. That's all.
Yeah, it must be my the chalet I'm in. The Wi-Fi might be a little right now. Oh, you lost me there. Okay, I'm back.
Yeah. You're up in your what are you up in Vermont in your palatial estate up there skiing?
Yeah, it's part of the witness protection program. I'm looking outside right now. I see like about a foot of snow on the ground and stuff. But the fireplace is back here, and somehow or another I'll be at work tomorrow. So go figure, right?
Yeah. So how was your Thanksgiving? How was the prime rib? How'd that turn out?
Thanksgiving was great. The prime rib was succulent. It was melt in your mouth. It was 150% better than turkey, that's for sure. And it was easy to cook too. Much easier to cook. There was just simple sides, just mashed potatoes and string beans. That's all you need with red meat and stuff. And there was some cheesecake and some other cakes and some cookies and stuff. And just being around family. Went to get my mom in New Jersey on Tuesday, and then drove her home on Friday before I headed out to the big game in the Meadowlands. We'll talk about in a few, but it was good. It was a nice week. I had the whole week off and stuff. We went to Vesuvio's in Newburgh. Excellent Italian restaurant, excellent place. And it was good. How was your Thanksgiving, Rich?
My Thanksgiving was really good. It was very, actually, it was pretty relaxing. We had my nephew Gaetano up here and my sister-in-law Joey. They came up on Wednesday. We had a pretty relaxing couple of days. Jack made the turkey. I guess he got a recipe from his chef at Culinary, and he brined it real nice, and he stuffed it with the stuffing. And my wife, my sister-in-law, and Jack really, the three of them really kicked ass in the kitchen. And it was just the six of us. And we had a really, really nice day. They all made some pies.
Great.
Pumpkin pie. We had some apple pie. I think I've ate more in the last couple of days. I mean, I've been really good with eating lately. My stomach's feeling a little weird today, but I've been doing really good with the eating. But this weekend, I really kicked my ass because he made chocolate lava cake last night. He made cookies the other night. It's unbelievable. So yeah. It's definitely been a weekend of eating, but yeah, my Thanksgiving was really good. Thursday football games were nice up until Friday. Again, we'll talk about that Friday debacle in a couple of minutes, but yeah, it was nice. It was really nice just having a nice relaxing weekend, just sitting around, pretty much not doing too much. I got what I did? I got the Christmas lights up this weekend, right before.
Oh, great!
We lit the Christmas lights on Thanksgiving night, and we went to get our Christmas tree yesterday. We got 2 Christmas trees yesterday, so we're gonna be decorating them this evening. So yeah, my weekend was good, dude.
Good. Yeah, a lot of eating this weekend for sure. I mean, it wasn't only Thursday. It was Friday. It was Wednesday. It was Tuesday. It was Monday. So, I got to get back on track here and stuff like that. But, it was a good week. It's great just being around family and stuff like that. It's just the way, it's Thanksgiving. Everybody celebrates in the States. And like I said, I went to a couple of Chinese restaurants in the past, and I told them Thanksgiving is a country holiday. It has nothing to do with religion. So it's not worth opening the doors. And if you drive around on Thursday, there's not too many Chinese restaurants open.
There's nothing open.
Diner's open. You might see the diner, but yeah, that's about it.
Because I went out. And let's talk about that. Let's talk about that for a second. I think that I got up really early. I get up really early every day. I can't stay in bed past 5:30. It doesn't matter what day it is. It doesn't matter. So I went out for a ride. Maybe I could see if there was a store open. I was going to try and get a couple more Christmas lights. And I saw Home Depot was closed. I saw Walmart was closed. And I saw all these big corporations that closed their doors. And listen, they pay their employees. They don't pay their employees too well, but they give them the day off because they know that's a crazy day. And they want to be with their families because the next day is Black Friday. So I actually think that's a good thing that all those stores are closed and they give their employees a little bit of a break because they know as soon as Friday rolls around, they are going to be swamped at those places because everybody thinks they're going out to get a good deal to save $13 on a fucking 70-inch television, when they could just wait. But hey, listen, there's some people that are into that,
Yeah, I think the store's open Thursday night, as a matter of fact, Rich. I think Walmart was opening around 5 or 6. Anyone listening can quote me wrong, but I think the stores are opening late on Thursday night for people to get out there and stuff, which is still wrong because Thanksgiving is Thursday. Close it Friday morning.
I think I know what you were saying. I think I know what you were saying. I think they were. I think they opened them at midnight.
Okay, gotcha.
It's the fact that they're having their Black Friday sale. So I'm pretty sure that's the reason why they did that.
Yeah, we were driving down to Jersey 8 o'clock in the morning on Friday to take my mom home, and Woodbury Commons was pretty packed. They were opened, and there was all traffic on the thruway coming north and stuff like that. So everyone was out there. So good for the economy, I guess.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's good for the economy. Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, when you say that, say it that way, I guess you're right.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And like I said, Black Friday for me was different this year.
Okay, oh. Listen, do you want to talk about that? You know what? I want to talk about one or two more things actually before, because I got something to say about that. I'm not gonna do what I normally do and go yell and scream, go crazy, but I do have something to say about the Jets. And let's talk about the football game in a couple of minutes, because I had asked you a question before we got on the air before, because I want to mention to people that this is a sports show. We you talk about all different types of sports, but I've been hooked on this documentary that's on HBO Max. It's called The 100-Foot Wave. It's about this guy named Garrett McNamara, who is this, he's a big wave surfer. It's a completely different sport than these barrel surfers. And I've learned that over the last couple of days, just, watching this documentary. But it's literally about this guy, Garrett McNamara, and his journey to find this 100-foot wave over in Portugal. Now, this documentary takes place over like a 10-year span. It starts off, when he's a young man back in 2004, I think. And he surfed it all. He's done the barrels over in Hawaii. He's surfed in Indonesia. He's done it all. But apparently they found this place over in Portugal called Nazaré, whereas they had the biggest rideable, I guess you could call them rideable, waves in the world. And because of this guy, Garrett McNamara, this very small fishing town of Nazaré, Portugal, became a huge surfing destination. So this documentary takes place over the last 10 years. Now, you see him when he's a young man, and he's like head first into these waves, and he's like had no fear. At this point, like he had just met his future wife, and that they get married. They don't have any children yet, but you could see his journey and how it gets to a point where he has a couple accidents. He breaks his foot, and he breaks his arm, his shoulder, and he's just kind of like an older guy, and he's got this young crew of guys with him. And you could see the older he gets, how it kills him that he wants to go out and do it. Now, my question to you, Eric, is, and I can answer, I'll have an answer for you after I answer. It's like, as a man, like I'm talking, listen, there were two women that were involved in this competition. You have to give them kudos, because these guys were surfing these 60, 50, 40, and this one guy got an 80-foot wave. It's a sick documentary. Even if you don't know much about surfing, Eric, it's just like literally this documentary is amazing. Mm-hmm. But as a man, we get older, right? Have you ever in your life, have you ever tried something dangerous or have done something dangerous? And if so, when was it? And what were like the, what was the scenario like if you'd done something dangerous or you had thought about doing something dangerous?
Yeah, well, thanks for giving me a half hour to think about it, Rich. If it would have been spontaneous, I would have had, I'm pretty old, so 55 years, a lot to look back in the tank and stuff. But yeah, there was, I don't know, I was an idiot, but 18, maybe 17, 18 years old, they have these teenage things in the towns and stuff like that. So the town I lived in, we took a tour to the Delaware Water Gap, and we're going out on a boat. And I'm on a boat with like four guys. And, it was a cool day. We're wearing jeans and stuff like that. Not like we're wearing bathing suits, It was overcast, cloudy, maybe 50 degrees. And, the guys decided to jump off the boat, and I was alone on the boat. So what do? I go in the water, too, and I can't swim. So I thought I was going to drown, Rich. I thought that was my last day on Earth, and had to get fished out. Basically, I'm soaked, and long ride home from Delaware Water Gap to Middlesex County, New Jersey and stuff. So I was soaked with jeans on, not a good feeling. And then on my honeymoon, decided to go scuba diving, and same thing happened. I thought I was drowning, so the guys had to bring me back on the boat. I swallowed a shitload of water, and I had this like rotten egg taste from all the salt, I guess, for the whole week. Like whenever I burped, this rotten egg would come up. It was like I was eating a deviled egg on Thanksgiving, which I did too, which is another dangerous thing I did, where the wife presented me. I mean, we can talk about deviled eggs later, Rich, but nasty. But I came down to my basement. I got the brick wall now. The upstairs, the fireplace was too hot. So, but yeah, I think that was the most dangerous, Rich. I'm not good with.
Eric, you there? I think you cut out, dude. All right, well, Eric, we're gonna have to. You're gonna have to punch out again and see what's going on. But the reason why I asked Eric this question is because I'm watching this documentary, and you could see like the thought process of you see the thought process of this guy Garrett, and as he gets older, and how he feels about certain situations that he's got to put himself in. Like we can obviously tell that the situation is different when when he's young, man. Like how he goes into these waves. And let me get rid of Eric here for a second, because he's going to have to sign off and then sign on again. So Eric, if you're here, I mean, you're listening to me, just sign off and sign back on again. There's something wrong maybe with your internet connection over there, my friend. So just let me know if you need another invite or whatever you need, and I'll send that to you. But yeah, we're talking about stuff that men do that are dangerous. Now, listen, my I guess you could pretty much say that my job in general is dangerous. Wait, hold on. EDUBBS,
I'm back.
Yes, you are. You're back, dude.
Something with the Wi-Fi today. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what's sending your camera a little bit.
Yeah, hopefully this is better. I think there's still delay, but maybe I could stay in here and stuff. So,
all right. So anyway, you were explaining. Go ahead. You explained.
Where'd I leave off, Rich?
When you left off that you were scuba diving, and you left off that. Yeah, exactly.
You swallowed a bunch of water, and I'm in the Bahamas, and that taste of the water really got to me. Whenever I burped, it would be like an egg or something like that. So it would be like the deviled egg. I don't know if that got over before. And the deviled eggs are the worst, because I did have one on Thanksgiving. We can talk about that later. But yeah, water and I do not mix. And when you said 100-foot wave, Rich, my throat closed up, because forget it. I hate a 3-foot wave.
Right. Now, we talk every once in a while, about your disdain for the beach. It's, all joking aside, like, is that kind of like, like when you were a kid, like, I guess you had two kind of like rough instances with the ocean. Is that kind of what leads you to believe? Like, I know Ben and I know Jody, your wife and your son, I know they like the beach. They like to be there. You're kind of the guy that kind of stays back in the cut. Is that something that comes from like maybe you got childhood fear? And I'm not even being funny right now. I'm kind of like real talk. Like, does that come from like a childhood fear of maybe, something you don't know what's out there, like something happening to you again, or you just think that you just don't like the beach?
No, it's just everything. It's the water.
Mm-hmm.
I got bad sunburns as a kid. It just doesn't do anything for me and stuff. It's just miserable. I'd rather be in the air conditioner. But you know what? I can walk around the boardwalk and eat pizza with the best of them.
Right.
So
right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, the reason why I'm asking that question, because I think like when you talk about, when men talk to each other, there's like different types of men. People. There's risk takers, and then there's people who think about the risk or don't think about it. I'm sorry, they think about the risk and then they go do. So I mean, I think where I've been in my life, I've always been a risk taker. Like it's like I've always looked at that high. I've always looked at that high cliff. Like if we're riding around in say Lake George, and everybody jumps from like the 20-foot one, I'm looking for the 30-foot one. Going to the amusement parks, looking for the highest and the most craziest possible roller coaster. The ocean. I will jump into the middle of the ocean if I'm near a boat, no matter what. I love the ocean. I want to be near it for the rest of my life. That's why I want to get the hell out of New York. But that's one of the main reasons. I love the ocean. And I guess maybe just my job in general, just being, I'm a risk taker. But my whole thought process on stuff like that kind of changed when I had kids. But when the kids were young, we'd go out on those boats and it's like, oh, dad, jump off that high peak, and of course, I have no fear. Now, as I get older, I wouldn't call it fear. I would just call it like reservations, because now it's like, now my knee hurts, it's like my shoulder hurts, I'm not as young as I used to be now. I don't think like the reservations come from the fact that what if something happens, maybe I won't be able to recover. Whereas 15 years ago, I had no reservations about anything. I would jump right into the ocean, or I would climb that top mountain. But I knew I was physically fit enough to get myself out of any situation, which I was. And I still am in really good shape, but it's more like a second guess now. I still like doing the dangerous shit at work. I still like doing that stuff, but it's a mindset thing from an age too. Like you could be a risk taker as a kid and only have yourself to worry about. There comes to a point where your mom and your dad are watching you and they're scared for what you're doing. It's like, oh, don't do that. Don't do that. But then when you get to a certain point, like there was another kid, his name was Tony. He was from Nazarene, and he watched these guys, ride these big waves his whole life. And he's a young kid, and his dad was his tow driver. And it was him and his dad, because his dad wanted to be his tow driver because it was very dangerous. But his dad, let him go full in. But the whole mindset between doing dangerous stuff for men, I think comes from the fact that we're always trying to challenge ourselves. And I've done a lot of dangerous things, but the point I'm trying to make is I think the older we get, we have second thoughts. And like our second thoughts come in the beginning when we have kids. because it's not just me anymore. If I die, if I plummet to my death from a 50-foot cliff, my mother and father are going to miss me. That's fine, but I'm not impacting anybody, directly like I'd be impacting children. Now I have children, so that's where the reservation comes, because holy shit, I need to be here for my kids. So it's not so much of a fear as much of a reservation. It's like, I'm not fearful of doing something, but I take that into consideration, because if I'm not here, then I have 2 children that are going to grow up without a father.
Yeah. So what was the most dangerous thing you ever did, Rich?
Oh my God. Listen, I've done some pretty dangerous shit at work. To be completely honest with you, it's like just stuff that goes like flies under the radar at work. You know what I mean? And there are times when you have to get stuff done. And a couple of years ago, I'm not going to go into detail about what it was, but we had set ourselves up in a bad position for, just to set one of these big, huge panels. And I kind of had to I won't say it, but I had to kind of disconnect and get behind a column and climb up. And I was kind of like, I don't know, I was like, very high up in the air. And I was like, 500 feet in the air. And I was tied off. I managed to tie myself back off. But I was kind of put myself in a position where I was hanging over an I-beam about 500 feet in the air. Of course, I was roped in, but I'm looking over and I'm like, I had to get to this, but I went for it because it was my job. And I kind of like pulled it up and I rolled my body and I was very confident in my job. But if I could have slipped one way or the other, listen, a harness will save you, but a harness isn't going to actually save you from death either, because if you hang there too long, you'll be constricted and something can happen. But listen, I have probably about 10 to 15 stories just like that over my last 23 to 24 years of being an iron worker. But, just jumping off cliffs and, just going through waves, like seeing those big waves. Like, I'm not a surfer or anything, but the bigger the wave at the beach, the better. There are instances in my life where I've taken chances where I thought maybe I could have, I actually got a kind of a funny story about doing something kind of dangerous. We went to a Great Adventure one year, and they had that slingshot. Now, I wouldn't say it's dangerous, but the higher the better. But I had known a bunch of my ironworker friends were going that day, and I was going with my 2 sons and their friends. So I get there and we get to the slingshot thing. Neither of my kids would do it because it was really high. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. So I get up probably about, I don't even know, 150 feet in the air. So they're sliding me up, and I'm yelling, let's go. So they launch me. I'm flying at the top of my head. I look like Superman. I'm screaming. I see all my ironworker friends kind of like, is that Richie Murphy doing that? I was like, oh my God. They're like, hey, Rich, what's going on? I'm flying like, 200 feet, 150 feet. And I'm like, oh, it was great. But I don't have any fear of that kind of thing, because I know I'm going to bounce back as far as like, I will do something. But, the fear of just like not being there for my kids is the reservation of not being there for my kids is definitely in my head.
Yeah, I'm the drink holder, the bag holder at amusement parks, Rich.
Oh,
of course I am, right? Yeah, no, roller coasters don't do it for me. I don't know. I went on this thing. It was in Hershey Park. It was called the Falcon, and it's like a bird you're sitting in, and it's like twirling in the air, going around. And I came down, and I was maybe 50 shades of white more than I am right now. So a little Pepsi, had a drink and got back to normal and got my legs back. But it was a horrific experience, and maybe I could add it to this conversation we're having now and stuff like that. So
yeah. But listen, Eric, in all honesty, dude, like, listen, we break each other's chops about stupid shit all the time. But when it boils down to it, like, it's all like personality traits of men. It's like, and again, like, that's what me and Josh talk about on like Shooting the Breeze, like shit that affects like men. You know what I mean? We're not always yelling and screaming about politics. You need to get involved in some of that, because we're all in our 50s now, bro. And it's like we have, and it's like we can help each other out as men that are, that have these different, like, like a woman, and I hate to say it, but like, when a man is going through something, like, that in their own head, that battle, a woman could talk to you, or your wife could talk to you as much as they want, but it's just inherently in men that we have to talk to each other. We have to, like, if I'm going through a situation where I'm trying to work something out in my head, my wife could tell me all she wants from a woman's perspective, but she'll say, oh, don't do it like that, or don't fly off the handle, or maybe you shouldn't handle it like that. But if you talk to another man and another man tells you